Good evening, my friends, and welcome back to the next episode of Riven 2024. In the chat today, we have Justy303, who's redeemed Where the Ears immediately. We have got Trank0007, he can hear the sweet sounds of the Fifth Age. Jaffrus is wishing everyone a good evening, and we have a first-time chatter in Arbutusnate. Hey, finally made it, and a subscription with Prime as well. Oh, thank you very, very much. And welcome to the stream for the first time. And you've been stalking your way through the YouTube. Hardly stalking. Hardly stalking. Out there for the world to see. But great, great to have you on the stream. We also have Alpico has played hello there for 500 channel points. Hello there to you too, Alpico. And, you know, I hope you enjoy having a lurk or having a chat. Okay, last time out, we discovered lots of great stuff. We've linked up the whole of the Starry Expanse now. We've been to Gen's Summer House. We've found some really interesting notes. I note that the upload... I note that the patch... Oh, wow. Justy has gifted a subscription to Jaffras. Wow, thank you very much, Justy. Oh, excellent. And we're actually one sub away from a hype train now, which is hype. Okay. Now we had a big patch drop this week. I don't know if any of you guys noticed. It was either a really big patch or it was a patch that required a full install of the game or a full re-download of the game, because I had to download the full 21 gigabytes of this game. But do you know what's not been changed? The fact that the audio cuts out when you don't have the screen on the main screen. It's like, come on, Cyan, come on. It's at the top of my wish list. Last time out, we discovered some colours and how they relate to the domes. So this is going to be important to us. We put some marbles into some slots to get some islands to move around. We have made a few decipherings which will probably help the fire marble puzzle later with Strike Force compensation. Justy303 has also gifted Everett Depanga a subscription. Oh, I think we're going to get hype train, aren't we? We're about to beat our last record. Keep up the support. Oh, amazing. And that is your 5th gifted sub to the channel, Justy. That's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. It's incredibly generous. And that's sort of what we discovered last time out. And we also rode the submarine around a bit. So we're going to go back and we'll find the answers to these animal puzzles at some point. Right now, though, we're going to go and check out Gen's favourite fishing spot and see where that takes us. Okay, let's go. I'm assuming this is all obviously in the same place. We've not been here yet. Oh, no chair. I tell you what, you know, the conceit for the VR players has just ruined Gen's throne game, right? We have unlocked God's Eye View. Look down upon the village. Right, we pull this one and we're going to get that closed. Yeah. That actually locks the perspective for you, so presumably so that even in VR you will know where you're supposed to be looking. Okay. Oh, yes. And now that we've moved the submarine, we can totally go for that hole as well. Well, I hope you guys all enjoy the extra emotes. Now, some of the emotes are follower emotes, so you get those anyway just by having a follow. And some of them are obviously the subscriber emotes. Most notably, the raid emote is just a follower emote. So when we do the raid later, we can definitely get, you know, good representation on the raid emote in the chat. Okay, with that, let's get down here. Do we want to come out of the warp's mouth? We could. Now, I'm just trying to think. We've left the submarine in a somewhat sensible spot. In that the submarine is, like, somewhere. But I wonder, actually, rather than going up to the prison straight away, given that we happen to be here... let's go and... let's maybe go and see if we can get to that steam vent that we've opened up. Given that the submarine is not in our way there. Do you know what I mean? Did I watch any of Mysterium? I did not watch any of Mysterium. I have seen the presentations up on YouTube, right? It's a 1 hour presentation? Is that correct? Or no. The 1 hour presentation is the State of the Union, I believe, isn't it? But no, haven't checked it out. Wait. Hang on. I'm sure we released a load of Steam here. Didn't we? And Trank 0007 has also subbed with Prime. Oh no, we missed the train. Oh no. Oh, we were so close as well. So... yeah, I'm sure that's where we had the submarine. Maybe it's to do with that switch there. Okay, that's something to be investigated in a little while then, isn't it? Oh yeah, creepy. Right, with that then, what's the best way to get back to the submarine? I'm trying to remember where that submarine is located. It's in a cave somewhere. Is it at the bottom of Survey Island? I think we have to ride the monorail back, don't we? The nice thing about a good remake is that it doesn't affect the original. Riven will always be there being the GOAT, but now there's a new way for more people to play. I totally agree, Arbutus Nate. I think it's a really bold remake, a real complementary game to the original. I would have to really rack my brain to think of a similar experience where you took the heart of the original, but then really, like, the best analogy I can come up with possibly would be, did anyone ever play Twin Snakes on the GameCube? It was a remake of Metal Gear Solid from the PlayStation, but with all new graphics and so forth, but also, like, the cutscenes were a lot more cinematic and things, and I think that's maybe the closest analogy I have to this game, right? They've changed some really interesting parts to keep it new for people who are real fans of it, but they've also kind of kept the real kind of crux of the whole thing. Now I have a feeling, yeah, it's going to be... No, it's not going to be from Survey Island, obviously. It's going to be... Rotate. It's going to be off the other platform. So the submarine obviously has to be on this island, right? It's that door over there. Oh, the hardest puzzle in the game as far as streaming games once a week goes. Remembering what you did last week with enough clarity to not take up too much time. Just with rememberings. So Cyan staff deliver a State of Cyan presentation each year. The curse of playing a puzzle game once a week strikes again. Yeah, no, exactly. Hey, we've got PackNW Fallstar is in the chat. Good evening to you. And we have another first-time chatter. We have L Random 00XD. best viewers are on that link. Uh-oh. I'm not hitting that link, and you know what? You are going to get a timeout for that one, El Rondo. Bonk. Okay. Mod CH. Go to that one. Go. Oh yes, I heard that. Yes, Cyan mentioned they're working. Yeah, mod check. No, I'm not sure any of our mods are on this evening, actually. Not that that should be a good excuse to just run amok in the chat. Incidentally, if any of the long-time viewers are interested in getting a mod sword, DM me in the Discord, because I'm happy to chat. Oh my word! There was a sunner. Did you guys see that? Yeah, happy to chat with you guys about getting a couple more mods onto the channel. I think the best way to find mods is not to try and draft people in to be mods for your channel, if that makes sense, but to actually find people in your community who have been here for a while and kind of understand the vibe that you are going for, and like engage with the community that way, right? Here we go. Right. Down. Excellent. Now we should be able to get up there and, well, in the original there was a shortcut that you could unlock, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case anymore. But yeah. Okay. Oh no! The lack of jump button strikes again. Come on. Down, down. Undo. What do you reckon that does? Interesting. So we can definitely get on top of that. Do you reckon that just puts a delay on it? It does. It just puts a little delay on it. Nice. Hello. Well, he's just chilling. Oh wow, another gifted sub from Justy303 to pack NW Fall Star. Thank you, Justy. Now check this out. It's a 5. It's a 5. Whoa, you are absolutely smashing the previous record for gifted subs. 6. 6 in total now. Now the chap who was in here is gone. It's very dark in here, isn't it? Now how do you reckon we're getting in here? There's a secret tunnel, right? I mean, that can't be too much of a spoiler, right? Because literally there was a chap in here and now there isn't a chap in here anymore. So, where's his secret tunnel entrance? It was a drain in the original game, but it's very dark and I really don't see very much. I don't know if you guys can see it particularly. I'm actually going to have to adjust. Oh no, there is a drain. There's a drain right there. But that doesn't look like it. Huh. Wait, it must be something in here, right? Because there was a guy that was literally just sat in here just now. So it must be something that you open up from inside. Was the jail cell a pentagon in the original? I don't know. I don't remember the answer to that. Well, that's not going to help us out, clearly. He was sat in this corner. Is it a trick brick? No, it can't be a trick brick, surely. Because there are so many bricks. There has to be some kind of logic to it. Okay, and there's no jump and there's no crouch, so I would expect something that's either reasonably visible or somewhat near eye height. You don't remember that. You do remember they didn't show you the door opening when you turned the wheel. There's a clear correlation between my gifted subs and the amount of alcohol in my fridge. Lol. An inverse correlation? It kind of looks like there's something on the floor next to this drain, but I can't tell if it's just like a weird sort of artifacting. Do you see that? These sort of lines here, but I think that might just be... Oh yeah, no. It's just a weird sort of reflection from the sunlight. How odd. But the guy was literally just in here. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, no, we can jump back down here if we wanted to. Right, because in the original game that was very much a one-way. But I suppose... Wait. That mouth is now open again. We closed that previously. Okay. Someone's gone and reopened that then. So we've got to close that up, and that's why we couldn't get down into the thing. Right. We're going to have a think about that. We'll come back to that later. Yeah, it's so dark, isn't it? Okay, so if we hit down on this, and then we can jump on it as we go down. Now it... Oh, no, we can't. Fine. Stop. Now, in the original Riven, canonically, the stranger is so jacked, he literally just hangs on to the manacles. Just rides it up, right? Uh-oh. Can I... No, I don't really want to jump on it as it's coming up. Huh, and that's going to stop it here, is it? Right, I can stand on it and push the buttons from on top. Oh, yep, cool. Going to reorient me briefly. Yeah, you can get 5 people at once now, which is kind of fitting, I suppose, with the theme. Right, let's take the sub over to somewhere where I can leave it parked reasonably easily. Maybe... not sure. Maybe like outside the school. Hungry walks. So yeah, I heard that there was going to be a new... game set in the Deniaverse. Oh, Glitch Chaser is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. I am kind of excited about that as a concept. So I think there's a lot you can do with the Deniaverse, to be honest. I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff you can do with it. Right, we're gonna close the mouth of the crocodile. He's over there. I'd be interested to see some of the really weird stuff, you know? Now, I think you'll probably want to move it away from Atreus and his family. Maybe. Because Atreus and his family possibly are... Huh. So we can look down in there for some reason. Yeah, Atreus and his family, we've probably had done enough of them. And also, you'd need to recast Atreus. Or have Rand playing, like, old Atreus, I guess. And I don't think that's the vibe that people want, really, because people very fondly remember Atreus as being, you know, Rand Miller. I think there is some more interesting stuff you can do in the Denis universe which does not require the Atris family, you know? Huh, I can't get down that ladder without the submarine being here, but then the submarine's in the way. And I clearly can't jump into it. How am I going to get down there? There's a door right there that I need to get into. Huh. I mean, it's kind of similar to what they always claim they're going to try and do with Star Wars, but never quite manage to do. With, you know, oh yeah, we're going to... There's a big universe out there, and we're going to move it away from the Skywalker family. And, you know, continue to still tell stories about the same, like, dozen people. I would be interested in doing some of the really weird stuff. Like, we know that you can do some really weird stuff with the art, right? I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I want to see Donut World. I want to see a world which is flat, that has a giant waterfall coming out the middle of it, where one side of the world is always night and one side of the world is always day, and canonically it's literally a disc with a massive hole in the middle. I think that's like, it's one of the most unique ideas from the Book of Atris, and I think the really wild stuff that the art can do is some of the more interesting stuff. I also would be really interested in doing something like... did you ever see Primer and stuff? Like the time travel movie? Like, I think there's some really interesting things you can do with the art which could be explored further. Like, well, we sort of hypothecate... Like, there's a few things that we've discussed in chat over the years, right? Like, the fact that you do not have to be conscious to use a linking book, so someone can take a linking book and like press it up against you and you will link away, I think really opens the door to a lot of stories about, like, you know, Denis kidnappers or bounty hunters, or like, you know, and we've seen Garishon, of course, in Uru recently. And the fact that Garishon has this concept of, well, you take the prisoners and you link them into their prison cells, and then they can't get out because they have no linking book out of there, and that's it. Like, that's kind of what you're doing. We need to leave some... Is this a pressure plate? We need to leave something on the pressure plate, but not the submarine itself, because the submarine is too massive. So yeah, I think the stuff that you can do with that, and what we do with Myst 4 Revelations, where they change like the metaphysical properties of the universe, I think is really interesting in a way. And like, I know it's very unpopular, the fact that into Serenia, Catherine wrote literal gods who have godlike powers over that universe. But there's some pretty wild scope if you take that to its logical conclusion, because it's like, you could do things like write an age in which the art itself doesn't work, for example, or you could write an age where the rules of the art are different in that age compared with other ages, right? And that kind of coupled with some of the wild stuff you can do with the different ways you can write trap books, or the fact that in Uru we have the idea of a linking pamphlet, so like a book that links with you, and you've got like the special hazard suits, the environmental suits that have linking pages in their wrists to like quick link you out of hazardous situations. Like, there's a lot of really cool ideas that you could do if you kind of told a story about people who are able to exploit the art in really weird ways. And so I'm kind of interested to see what they come up with. And of course it will broadly be a puzzle game, right? Because that's their specialty. There's something weird about this. This is like a pressure plate. Was that the sound of the crocodile opening back up again? Or the warg opening back up again? So we've got this pressure plate, but we can't get round the submarine. We can't get round the submarine whilst it's there. So we've got to find some other way to put something really heavy on that pressure plate. And all I can think now is pet rock. Making the player edit books to change part of the level. Oh, I like that. That's a really cool idea from Jaffrus there. You'd love to see... Trank says, I'd love to see more of the Denis Cavern in a modern game. Uru never fully scratched that itch for me to really get an inside feel of the guilds. I think that's good. You could find scraps of text, says Arbutus Nate. Scraps of text that need to be copy and pasted into books. A bit like Oblivion with inserting parts of worlds into others. Oh no, Abduction, right, yeah. They have a lot of material to work with, like maybe a game that follows one of the kings from Denis history. Tadar for real says assumptions are sometimes off. Yeah. Maybe we get to it from the other side. Maybe we step into the giant warg's mouth and go down. So I'm trying to think, what are our other open threads right now? We want to go back to the totems and have a look around. Oh yeah, we've not been using our special lens either. Wait! We could use our special lens in the prison. That's probably how we find the secret switch. Use the Eye of Truth. So this thing then. So we open this up. I don't know, this just allows us to look down. We can't like step into this in any way. And in any case, I don't think stepping into that would be a good idea anyway. Right, back to the prison. Huh, like a ladder that doesn't go anywhere. Okay, easiest way back to the prison, down to the submarine, back to the fishing point. Yeah, there was something we read in Uru about the Age of Grecian, which I totally misinterpreted. And someone in the Discord corrected me, because something somewhere in the Age of Grecian says something about people not being able to link in or out of the age. But that's actually more to do with the fact that people have to check in their linking books before they're allowed in. Whereas I read that to mean, oh yeah, no, there's some kind of weird linking damping field around the age which literally prevents people from linking, which I thought was an interesting idea. Good evening, we have Spiper in the chat. Good evening to you, good evening to you. Okay. We've got to start making some good progress on some puzzles. Nope, we've ended up back at the school. That was not where I intended to be. So I think that one then is going to be the one we're after. Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, there it is. There's the fishing point. Yeah, doing okay, doing okay. Today is technically the first day of my vacation, which is really great. So we might be able to stream a touch later than usual today. Bonk, bonk. Right, ride it up. But yeah, pretty chill Monday. Pretty chill Monday. You've been to most of the Mysteriums, you know they've been asked about possible inspirational sources like native or even Middle Eastern culture can't be what the response was. The significance of Goretia is the rotation of the buildings. Yes, indeed. So yeah, there's a piece of text that says, yeah, you've got a link with the correct timing to be put into the correct cell. No indoor linking spot is stable except for the very centre. Anywhere else and the person risks linking into a wall. Is that a thing that can happen? Yeah! Ha ha ha! Got it. Ah, yeah, no, you'd never find that. Yeah, so I'm going to suggest this one, right? I mean, I said I didn't like it as soon as we picked it up, but yeah, I don't really like the Eye of Truth mechanic, if I'm honest. Because yeah, it means that there's kind of a downside to not wandering around with it constantly out. Which is exactly the same problem that you ended up with in Zelda Ocarina of Time when you got the Eye of Truth, right? Except that had the downside that it used magic, right? So there was a benefit and a drawback for it. You didn't find the Lens of Truth until after you got back from Tay. Oh wow, that would be a real hindrance. For sure. It's puzzle gamey rather than adventure gamey. How did the Euro stream go? Couldn't stay awake for one, unfortunately. Were you able to complete Goretia? We have not quite completed Goretia. We are one cloth short. But we have moved on to the next age anyway. And so we're starting to work through rotating dials. That episode will be up on the YouTube in a few days' time. On Wednesday. On Wednesday we'll pull that one up. Right, I did see the door to the left, don't worry. We'll just light all of these up. Nice. You think you can trick me, game? Mwahahaha! I am immune to your tricks. What is this? Okay. There we go. Where do you reckon? Where do you reckon that's going to take us then? Oh, no, 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 don't close! Ah, shoot. Is there a way to open that back up? Hang on. What's he saying? I mean, we can light these. No, that one's gone off. Hang on, wait, we've got more here. If we get them all lit, does it reopen? Probably not, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Little bit annoyed by that. Okay, wait. Oh, no, that means I've got to go find the submarine again. Okay, fine. We'll go grab the sub. And then we will... Oh, no, wait. The sub's stuck over there. So how are we going to call the sub back? Some people didn't even find that secret passage. I wish I hadn't, frankly. So hang on, wait a minute. We got 3 sticks there, 2 sticks there, 4 sticks here. I'm not sure if that's really trying to tell us very much. What is that trying to tell us? There's nothing else written on these walls. The game is just trolling me. Maybe. Go on. We'll try and go around and just light all these up one more time. Just to check. I mean, realistically, it's probably not going to be all of them. It would be in some sort of order, wouldn't it? Okay. How are we going to call the submarine back round to us then? I mean, I suppose we could get back to the... Oh! Do you know what? I think in the... submarine hangar there is a button which lets you call the submarine. That's of course if we can get if we can even get to it, because we have turned the monorail the other way around, haven't we? Where's my button? No, that's the door. That's the door. Oh, that's the button. Great. Leave that open, because no point closing that behind us. I'm now having a think. This might be me just having played too much Rem now, but I'm also kind of having a think. We can now get into the mouth when the elevator's not here. There's nothing here if the elevator's at the bottom, but we could send the elevator to the top, make our way back round here and see if there's anything underneath the elevator that we couldn't get to before. I'm not sure if realistically that's going to be a thing. Which Myst game had the best tree elevator? Oh, that's a good question. Now if I press this button, will this rotate round for me? It looks like it will. It looks like it will. I mean, it kind of makes sense for there to be an exit out to the village from that path, right? Because that was arguably a plot hole in the original game, right? You had to get into the prison to be able to get to Tay, but then when you're coming back from Tay, well, your only exit is into the prison cell, so how does that help you in any way? So it does make sense that there is an exit there. The OG Myst Island tree elevator down to Channelwood is a pretty solid answer to that question. To be fair, some of the Channelwood elevators are also a pretty solid answer to that question, to be honest. Right, so we're going to call the submarine back to us. Oh, we don't even know to get up to the platform until the submarine's here. Yeah, that's true. There's a sea entrance and you can just take a boat. Quite right. Like, I mean, it's an island nation, right? They're not going to be farming a huge number of cows. The Navajo couldn't be Dene exiles. The Dene were in the process of tunneling to the surface when the fall happened. Maybe possible that there are a tribe of Dene survivors who ran during the fall. Yeah, but the fall only happened in like 1700s or something, didn't it? Like, wasn't Atreus born in something like... well, hang on. Again... I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think. Gen was literally a child during the fall. Right? Like, Gen was about 8 during the fall. And he had Atreus when he was about 19. So, or 19 or 20. So Atreus's date of birth only misses the fall by about 10 years. Do you know what? I've done it again. I've gone to the school, haven't I? Right. It's fishing, school, pedestal, and then the fourth one. Here we go. It's kind of wild when you think about it, really, how young Gen was when he had Atreus. Because Dene lived for a couple hundred years. You know, I mean, it's like, they're not like elves, but they are certainly quite long-lived. And so, you know, if you have a couple hundred years to live, and you have your first son at the age of 20, it's quite young. You know? And then Gen comes back to collect Atreus when Atreus is a boy, about 10 years old or whatever. So Gen's only about 30 at the point where the events of the Book of Atreus kick off. He's a 30-year-old with severe survivor's guilt, I suppose. I don't know. I'm not quite sure the pathology you would ascribe to Gen, to be honest. A little bit unhinged, let's say, at least. Perhaps Gen wasn't sure he'd inherit their longevity, or he wasn't sure that Atreus would inherit his longevity, maybe. Okay. We're going to close that behind us, because you never know. You don't want to get followed, right? There we go. We're not going to use the trick door this time. Ah. So, here we go. We have got animals. What do you reckon the fifth one's going to be? The fish? You know, it's the logo of the game, isn't it? So that one's got to be the first one or the fifth one. Surely. I'm assuming there's 5 because I believe we've seen 5 totems. But we'll see. Denise seemed to have a child adolescence that's a similar length to humans, but then they're frozen in a sort of middle age for a long time. Okay, I'm trying to think now where we've seen all of the totems. The totems are where villagers are able to get to. There's one on Alcatraz Island. Yeah. The rest of them are all going to be in Village Island. I mean, of course, a really cynical person might wonder, well, what was the point of coming back in here when we know what's in there? But here's the thing, we're not assuming that we do know what's in there. Do you know what I mean? It's good to confirm that there's nothing in there that we weren't expecting. It's a shame there isn't a shortcut down there anymore, to be honest. Apologies for laughing when you got lacked out of the secret passage. I regretted it when I saw how annoyed you were. Oh, no. Video game annoyed and actual annoyed are different orders of magnitude of annoyed. No. I have far too much in my life to be real annoyed about, to ever be annoyed by a video game. And I do think that a certain amount of good-natured trolling on behalf of the developers is, you know, is all in good fun, right? You know the game will lock your gaze for the manacle ride, but not allow FMV. Yeah, weird that, innit? I mean, my opinion's just stick with the FMV, really. Like, I think it's a real tricky one. It's a real tricky one because you got to appeal to the kids. You You got to appeal to the kids, because the kids, they don't want to, you know, they don't want a game that looks old. And FMVs kind of look a bit old, don't they? For me, it's kind of like, I've played some VR games, right? And the way VR games usually tend to handle scripted sequences is you stop being in the scene, and instead it's like a movie player comes up in front of you and you watch the scene and then you're put back into it. So that's how games like I'm trying to think of games that offer VR experiences that are like also quite cinematic. Did Senua's Sacrifice do it that way? Not sure. Not sure. Now, this is the point where I start to regret my previous decisions around not making note of exactly where all of these... Huh. Oh, Justy303 gifted Star Shadow X2 a sub. Wow. Thank you, Justy. Thank you. We are putting the Void into a little starry expanse module. So this is something that we read in Gen's journal last week, if you recall. That actually, it's not an elevator or a... Well, no, it is a teleporter, actually. It's not an elevator. It's a rip in reality that literally transports you to the starry expanse, which may or may not be in the centre of Riven. Probably is not, actually. So, yeah. Okay. I'm kind of tempted to... do we try and take a picture of this one? Yeah, okay, right. Let's start taking some pictures. And we'll try and start taking some notes about where all these are. Okay. So, let me pull up my notebook. It's interesting. So I just got the same notification pop up again that Justy gave Star Shadow a sub. I think that's my notifications going wrong rather than it actually happening twice, if that makes sense. So this is the logging site. Right. So, we line that up. Okay, this is how I feel like it works, yeah? The totem is the aspect of the animal. Pause for dramatic seagull cawing. Caw-caw! The totem is the aspect of the animal. The paint tells you how to align this. The shape tells you what number in the sequence it's going to be. That's what I reckon. So we've got the logging site here. That's the picture from inside the thing. Do we want another pic from the front of this like that? Could be useful. Right. So that's all the logging site. And we're going to compare this exact totem unless it's butterflies. Unless the answer is butterflies, because there's butterflies all over the place here. So let's just write that as a... butterfly? The reason I would question that, though, is butterflies seem incredibly prevalent all over the place. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a relevant part of that. Okay. Now, I think there's another totem in here. Please make a 25 by 25 grid and precisely mark their locations. Lol. Oh dear. Good callback to the original. Here we go. Now, we had it was a totem in here, wasn't it? Oh, or was it? Wait, what do we have over here? Yes, it is a totem here. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, wow. It literally also glows red as a sort of a... Hey. Hey, just in case you missed it. This is what you're supposed to do. Nice. Very puzzle gamey. Yeah, indeed. The magic eye of truth has spoken. Okay, jolly good. Right, this is the missing one. This is the missing one. Well, this is okay, because we already have a... what would we call this location? We would call this location Giant Knife. Yep, Giant Knife. And if we go back, because we already took this one, didn't we? Yep. So let's grab those two. And we're going to literally move them over here. Oh, and just to check, it is indeed at the top. So if I were to rotate these to the same degree, you'd have one here, you'd have one... Yeah, it'd be kind of like that. Yeah, those sort of line up with the... Oh, no, I'm not showing you guys. I'm not showing you guys what I'm looking at. It'd be kind of like that. Where those kind of line up now. This is the pictures we took from Gen's place. That's what I've got here. Okay, because we've got the hole in here. So we rotate these two by about the same amount, so that line is at the top, and it's a notch of 2 on the top right. In OG Riven, so many people missed the cave entrance outline of the frog. You didn't need it. You didn't need it because the spheres, they make the sounds. The only one that you don't have a sound for is the fish. Now, you know, the fish is possibly the most easily missed, but I don't know. Right, where did you paint it? Where did you paint it? Or is it butterfly? Is it butterfly? It's not turning red and going wah 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 like it was before though. Hang on a minute. The butterflies are landing in the shape of a frog. Or something. It was just turning red there. There we go. Yeah. How do the butterflies know how to do that, though, guys? Right, we'll pop that in back into the thing. The one missing piece of information is a trope I like in puzzles. Yeah, more of a confirmation of what went with the sound. Yeah, I agree with them. Agree with that. Agree with that. One colour is broken, one zeotrope is broken. Yes. Yes, that is quite right. Yeah, you have to make a guess on the one missing colour in the thing, for example, don't you? Oh man, we might get to Tay this stream then. Drain that. Ah, there we go. Okay. Man, we're gonna smash through this animal puzzle. Well, whoa, do you know what? That's a really dangerous thing to say, isn't it? Yeah, guys, we're just smash through this animal puzzle. Yeah, just the extreme confidence of someone who's not got this far in the game yet before. Right. So we've got 3 animals so far. We know that one totem is on Alcatraz Island. And where's the last totem? In the village, maybe? In the village itself? You dislike this part. There's no explanation for why butterflies are staying in formation, looked on the ground for food, couldn't find anything. Oh, actually, no, do you know what? I think it's over by the Sunners, isn't it? Yeah, get out of here, murder penguins. Bye. I tell you what, if you had not found that... Oh, yeah. Like... F's in the chat for all of the players who did not find that very quickly. Because that's going to be an ag. That's going to be an ag. Yeah. This F right here, Jaffrus, that's for you. Because imagine a Myst game where, because you didn't find an item that needed picking up, you couldn't make progress. Like, how weird is that? And I never thought that would ever happen, you know? Okay, what are you guys doing? We've got flowers. Come on, magic lens. Tell me when I'm in the right spot. Oh, hang on. Maybe. Do they kind of coalesce into some sort of constellation or something? Okay, well... oh yes, let's make a note of where these are. So this is it's the opening. It's the opening of the island. It's the first one that you come across and you can't really miss it. This one is past the Sunners. Right. The amulet in Myst 4. Is the amulet missable? I guess it might be. Do you need the amulet in Myst 4 to be able to complete the game? Oh, you can't not pick it up. I see. Oh, okay, but Trank says would need to confirm. Technically, Savidro's journal is another example of an item you need to pick up before you can progress in Exile, because the elevator solution won't work unless you have the journal. Interesting. Maybe it's not the blossoms. Maybe it's something on the tree. Do you know what, though? We can climb up the top of that, can't we? And we can look down. So maybe that's the answer. So we've been up to the top of that before. And we have looked down at the tree. Oh, someone said that it's this person's house that's the knock house. Oh yeah, here we go. Ooh. The sign of 5. Intrude on a Rivenese villager's privacy. There we go. Nice callback to the original. It was a bit scary, wasn't it? They do sort of jump out at you quite quick there. So what are we trying to do here then? No, I didn't want to walk away. Okay, so we can move that. Aha. No, that's just pouring it on the floor. So that's not going to do anything. Is this doing anything? Oh, hang on. Oh, all the blossoms are growing. We're wasting all the villagers' water here. Because clearly this is... Okay, right. Let's get down there and have a closer look then. Okay, we can't go across the rocks. Abduction vibes again. Okay. Oop, no, not that way. It's nice that you get to wander around more of the village in the remake, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of ladders, for sure. Right, yep, past here, through here, and up to the tree. Ah! Look at how... This is literally projecting red light onto the water. Like... This is not a subtle device at all. Look at how much we're illuminating. We're like wandering around with a tiny lighthouse here. But great. So that's that one. Not quite as convoluted as the butterflies, although, you know, as far as horticulturalists go, to be able to convince a tree to flower your blossoms in just the right way you want to do it. Yeah. Okay. Right, Starry Expanse. Easiest way to get to the Starry Expanse from here. Back to the Wark statue. Back to the Wark statue and up to the canopy. Canopy, not canopy. I'm not going to eat it. Oh, Spiper hitting someone with the bam hammer. Thank you, Spiper. Yep, up this way, around here. Can you still see the pattern without the lens? I mean, I guess, but it would be a lot harder to. You'd have to really know what you were looking for. But yeah, I think we're going to get to Tay this episode. Because I can't imagine the Alcatraz one is going to be terribly hard to work out. Yeah. It does make me wonder. Do you know what? When we go up to the canopy, I'm going to leave the lift there. What we'll do is we'll come back through the Starry Expanse via a different path. I want to see if there's it doesn't look like there's going to be anything below the elevator. Dunno. Kind of want to check it though. So we've been playing a lot of Rem recently on the YouTube, which is a great puzzle game. I really recommend it. It's old school though, and it's hard. Like, it's hard. Like, you've got to be... Like, I would say it's very much kind of like if you've done Myst and you thought, yeah, do you know what was really missing from Myst? Difficulty. that is what Rem is for you. And but you know what? It's good. It's good as well. I would give it a strong recommend. We've been playing that on Thursdays, and there are a lot of, hey, if I open that door, there's going to be a small void behind that door that could definitely fit something behind it. You know, there's a lot of that goes on. Village is here. Oh, and by here I mean villages there. You're thankful that the ban button is hard to click by accident, unlike the pin message button. Fair. Oh, we didn't quite get it. Oh no, that's because Village is more like that. Okay. Where are you from? Finland, here, for Justy. Well, I'm obviously based in the UK. South of the UK, of course. Although I have visited Helsinki, and my younger brother spent some time living in Finland. Finland's a very nice country. Gaffer says, I'm glad you're enjoying Ren. Oh, and Justy's also given a gifted sub to Glitch Chaser. Given 8 gifted subs on the channel. Justy is a real benefactor of this channel by this stage. Near San Francisco, California. So this is quite no, not that early in the day. I guess about midday for you, lunchtime for Arbutus Nate. Incidentally, because I am on vacation this week, we may well do a bonus stream of something. But because I'm on vacation this week, the bonus stream of something might be like in the middle of the day, if that makes sense. Because obviously I still have a toddler. Toddler still needs like taking to bed, entertaining, etc, etc. Except during the day, of course, because, you know, they're at nursery and so forth, and, you know, kind of living their best life. So we might do a bonus stream at some point this week, but it'll be something. I think it will be something that we're already recording for the YouTube, so that it's not like an extra stream of Riven that you guys would miss, or an extra stream of Uru that you guys would miss. Maybe I would do like a stream of Rem, or I'll do a stream of Wind Waker or something like that. The only complication would be is that it would be like out of order for you guys, right? Because obviously my YouTube videos I record a couple of weeks in advance or such like. Where are we trying to get to? We're trying to get to Alcatraz, and Alcatraz is an eye like this. Oh, no. So that's good there. Right, keeping an eye. Ah, there's Alcatraz. Great. You're becoming the shadowy money man behind TDF Enterprises. Oh dear. Your only complaint about Rem is the lack of atmosphere. Kind of like you're in a labyrinth for the sake of it. There's a tiny bit of story in the manual, if you haven't found that yet. No, so we did uncover the manual in episode 5. I suddenly remembered my 90s video game trope, of course, that games from that era came with a manual. You need to go and find the manual on replacementdocs.org and read it, because that's going to explain what it is you're trying to do. So we did get that in episode 5, and it also comes with a handy map. The map's in the manual. So there we go. But yes, you are somewhat in a labyrinth. A little bit for the sake of it, that is true. You would like to see an AU. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by an AU there, Spike. Where Gen... Oh, alternative universe, right. Where Gen didn't discover the trick with the fire marbles and had to colonize the starry expanse instead. Alcatraz. Speaking of San Francisco, I'm only a few miles away from the real island. Amazing. I've heard Alcatraz is a great place to visit. I've heard it's really interesting. And do you know what? The Rock is, as in the movie rather than the actor, is, I think it's a really great film. You know, I wouldn't go as far as to say underrated, because, you know, I think it's rated reasonably well. but yeah, it's an entertaining watch for sure. I like it. It's kind of like in that kind of. No, The Rock was Michael Bay, wasn't it? It wasn't John Woo, because John Woo did Face Off and he did Broken Arrow and all those kind of movies. I find them incredibly fun, right? So for any of you who don't know, if you're maybe sort of new to the channel or whatnot, so I'm a big movie fan. I watch a lot of movies and I really love them. I set out to watch my way through the IMDb top 250, and you know, my wife and I are making good progress on that. You know, we're 170 in or something like that. I think we're probably going to have to look down through there, maybe. Do you reckon? And you know what? It gives you the opportunity to see a load of movies that you would never have otherwise watched, right? But you also have to have space for just absolute fun as well, right? You can't sit around watching The Seventh Seal and Metropolis your whole life. You also have to watch movies like The Rock and RoboCop and Con Air and things like this, yeah? Huh. Tricky. Where's my paint? Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Can't think of a more intimidating name for a prison. I mean, it's probably not a coincidence that Azkaban and Alcatraz sound basically identical to each other, you know? Everett Topanga's visited Alcatraz a couple of times. Great place to visit, apparently. It's got to be something to do with that hole, right? It's got to be something to do with that hole. Let's see if Catherine's got anything else to say to us. Oh!
You have to get the book back from the moiety. They have it now.
Yes.
Go.
Okay. But wait, I have one follow-up question for you. I just got one follow-up question. Ah, oh, Catherine. Oh, rubbish. We got a first-time chatter, Planet Dune. Love the username. I just joined. Hey there. How long has the stream been going? Wonder if I should revert back to the beginning and miss live chat. Interesting question. We've been going for about an hour and a half so far. I can certainly give you a summary of what we have found so far this stream, but I will leave it to the other chatters as to what they would recommend if it's worth going back to watch. Oh, Justy303 has done a gifted sub for Planet Dune. That's 9 gifted subs on the channel. Indeed, the shadowy organisation backing TDF Enterprises continues. Should not, says Justy. Okay, let me give you a quick rundown of where we are in today's episode so far. We have been around Village Island. We've been wandering around Village Island. We faffed around a bit with the submarine, trying to get into a room that we couldn't get into, and then we went up Gen's fishing rod into the prison, found the secret entrance in the back of the prison, got trolled by the game developers once into getting locked out of the prison, got back into the prison, and found where we're going to enter the code for the animal puzzle. Since then, we've been back to each of the animal shrines, and we're now at the last one. And so far, we have found one of these by the butterflies, we've found one of these by the giant knife, one of these by the opening of the island, and we found one of these by the sunners. And now we're trying to find the 5th one. And if we get these images and we decode the order, we'll be able to get to Tay this stream. And that's all you've missed. You know? It's been about an hour and a half so far. You should stay in the present with our scintillating conversation. You can always catch up from the stream on the beginning. That is true. That is true. There's nothing quite like being here live. And as I say, you know, I do greatly enjoy streaming with you guys. I think the crowd really makes these games, particularly on Uru. It has to be said. You know, Uru is an experience I genuinely don't think I would enjoy as a single player experience if I was just playing it on my own. You know? Well, we've got a real conundrum here because we ain't got an animal. So how much do I want to bet that the fish is symbol number 5? Is that metagaming to say, well, a fish is going to be symbol number 5 because it's on the cover of the box? We might go and do it. We might go and do it just because, you know. But I don't see any paint around here at all. I don't see any paint around here at all. We're going to look around for a few more minutes. And then we will say, well, maybe this is a missing puzzle element, you know? In the same way that you have the broken zeotropes, you have the missing marbles. Planet Dune, incidentally. What a great username. Dune is one of my absolute all-time favourite sci-fis. I believe I have watched every adaptation of Dune there is nowadays. I think it might be one of my favourite sci-fi franchises. And Dune, I think, has a really interesting lore to it. You know, I think it's the first book I've read in a long time that works really well as a sci-fi book, but then you read it and you're also like, wow, this is about something, you know? This is like genuinely serious literature as well as being, you know, very readable. And I don't read very much. Long-time viewers of the channel will know that I really do not read very much. I've been saying since for ages, oh yeah, I'm gonna read the Book of Tiana after I'm gonna read the Book of Tiana after I have done. Oh, here we go. I'm going to read the Book of Tiana after I've finished Dune Messiah. And I still haven't finished Dune Messiah. I'm very close to the end. Oh, no, that's gone back. Glitch Chaser has redeemed What Do I See? I think this might be what we see. But this... it looks like a telescope out onto the water, but... reckon? It looks like we've got a lens here and a lens here, but we don't have any kind of reflector. Like, it really does look like it could be something, doesn't it? But what's it going to be pointing at, though? Do we ever learn the name of the Rivenese fish? Spiker believes not. It's so strange, right? Like, it's got to be something related to this thing, because otherwise why would this thing even be here? But then it feels like we're missing a piece. Or like that this isn't quite in the right spot, that it should be over slightly. Oh, hang on. Well, alright, cool. It's a fish! It's a fish, guys! Like, what? What do you reckon the odds were that it was going to be the fish all along? I tell you what, that lens is a lot easier to see if you're not wearing the lens at the time, but you can put the lens on after you look through it. Yeah, okay, cool. We didn't need to do that. We could have just surmised that it was the fish. Strange that we get warks and sunners, but the frog beetle and the fish go unnamed. It's guaranteed to be a fish. Okay. Let's find my notes. Here we go. Right, where do we want to go to? Shall we go to... Let's go to Crater Island and ride up. Did we get it? No, sorry. We need to open this island. We need to open Alcatraz. So that's Alcatraz open there. No, that is not the correct one. That's a better scene for you guys. The tail of the fish in the menu looks like a dome. Okay, so Crater Island is the vertical line. Now we're going to end up doing this in the same order as the original time we played through this game, right? Which I hope no one minds, in that we're visiting Tay first and then we're going to do Fire Marvels later. But I'm not sure if we have everything we need for Fire Marvels yet anyway. I don't know. We will see. But in any case, we're going to go to Tay first. How interesting. You can sort of see something out of this window, maybe. Oh, it's the spinning dome. Right, the spinning dome's going to stop. Incidentally, the only reason we're coming out of Crater Island is because I have a weird obsession with seeing what's underneath the elevator in that warp's mouth. Weird that you can do that in VR, but you can't have the player sit on a chair. I think the chairs might be, for me, one of the biggest losses in the remake. Just simply because I think Gen's throne game is a really interesting aspect of his character. Like, just the number of thrones that guy's got. Excuse me, yeah, like, let's go. What the heck? Okay. Off we go. To be fair, I think if you were watching this in VR, you'd get very sick quite quickly. I'm not sure I would have the VR legs to be able to do that. They did keep the projection throne. That is true, but none of the others. At some point we should do... so I said on the Uru stream yesterday, at some point we should sit down and do a definitive Ages of Myst tier list. Spoiler alert, Riven's probably going to be at the top. Like, as far as ages go, Riven is, like, super OP. But I think we should also sit down and do a definitive tier list of best chairs in the series. Because, like, let's be honest, right? Cirrus and Gen would strongly bond as grandfather and grandson over their affinity for a good chair. Can confirm, extremely nauseating. Climbing into the cart's too much, so you preposterously hang on to the exterior. There we go. So, if anyone was ever wondering, that is what the bottom of the elevator looks like. And no, there appear to be no Easter eggs underneath it. Okay. Now, do you know what? There is a puzzle in the OG Riven about moving an elevator up and then going to the bottom of that elevator. Spoiler warning. That has been removed from this game. So not only is doors behind doors quite nerfed in this version of the game, elevators under elevators is also possibly not featuring. It'd be nice if they added more thrones instead. Put one on every island so that there were 5. I mean, I'm gonna put it out there, right? Riven is an age dominated by water, right? It's 5 islands. It is baffling to me that on in effectively what is Waterworld, Gen does not have a barge or a yacht or, you know, some kind of floating palace. And you could even bake that into a mechanic in the game, right? Because maybe you can't link to it unless it's in a particular spot, you know? Right, we're going back to Gen's fishing rig. Best tiny train. Best tiny train tier list. Wow, okay. Do you know what? If we do too many of those, we'll end up having to do best tier list video of all the tier lists that we've done. We'll certainly make that a stream, though. We'll certainly make that a stream, because I think me just talking through my own thoughts on tier listing would be incredibly dull, and no one would care. So let's make that a stream at some point. That could be quite fun. Switching to mobile, back momentarily. Sounds like the poet's house from that book. Oh no, wait. Have you all ever read the Hyperion Cantos? No. Sounds like the poet's house from that book. He was unbelievably wealthy and had teleporting doors, so every room in his house was on a different world. Had a bathroom on a raft floating on an ocean world. That's really interesting. I mean, it's a really interesting idea, right? Because, I mean, Uru explores the idea of, you know, what if you had these phenomenally wealthy people with access to the art, right? And then you have things like Teledan being an age specifically written for this wealthy guy. Like, Teledan was an age that was like gifted to the Cook's Guild or something, or the Guild of Caterers, because it grows huge mushrooms and stuff. And like, so they've just got a whole world where the purpose of it is they harvest mushrooms from it. It's really interesting. There's a lot of unspoken stuff in Uru that clearly says a lot about class and wealth equality and what, you know, like, obviously I've not finished Uru yet, but like, you do get a bit of an insight into what Denis society must have actually been like, and it really does not seem terribly utopian, a vision for you know, an enlightened futuristic society, let's say. Now, we got this far, but we haven't drawn up what we think the numbers are actually going to be here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of these. So if you recall, the blue numbers are the ones that we're fairly sure on, is it? Yeah, we've got 1 and 3 are literally drawn on for us on this thing over here. So the blue ones are the ones we're sure on. The red ones are the ones that we're conjecturing based on a pattern. So let's pop a copy of that down there. And let's see what we've got. Well, that one being 2 up here and up here, well, that would make that a 6, wouldn't it? Right, if that's a 6. So that's, let's be honest, not a great start, because we've only got 5 digits. This one up here, well, that being a 3, we could sort of deal with that. And that one being a 5, we could kind of deal with that. Ah, shoot. Is Rivenese numbering a base 6 numbering system? Right, I assumed there were 5 digits to this, because that's what we had in the original game. And we've only found 5 totems that I can remember, at least, anyway. This one over here, this would be number 1. And this one over here, which is just at the bottom, well, I would say that that's probably number 2. So, I think we might be missing one. I think we might be missing number 4. Huh. Unless... No, because 5 and 6 we know for sure, because they're blue. We've literally got those written down. And Gen does say something about maybe 6 is important for the Rivenese. So is there a hidden totem that we've not been to? Interesting. Yeah, that is definitely a 6, isn't it? That one. And the fish ends up being number 5, does it? Because I'd have thought the fish would be the last one. It feels like something's not adding up. Okay, I'm going to try a couple of permutations here before I go away and go, well, clearly there's a totem missing. Right? Because we can't be 100% sure that we haven't messed up something here. Although... yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? Let's try and pop them in order as to what we have. Because the system itself, the puzzle itself, might give us feedback as to whether it's expecting 5 numbers or indeed 6. And that will tell us something. So, Sunna, we reckon, is number 1. And then number 2, we've got a frog kind of thing. Probably that one. Number 3 is like a big round beetle. Ah, that one looks like. Number 4 we don't know. Number 5 we'll say is the fish. And number 6... well, it's the what? But yeah, it is yeah, it's expecting a 6th one. Right. There's a 6th totem that we haven't found. Ah, have we seen it and we just don't remember? Or is there genuinely one that we've not found yet? Interesting. Or maybe there isn't a 6th totem and there's some other way to work out what the 4th animal is supposed to be. But I think I would probably put my money on it's going to be a totem that you're supposed to be able to find. Alright. Do we actually even want to use that shortcut, to be honest? Because then our submarine gets lost. You know, we have to go right the way back in order to use our submarine. The final totem could be where that steam door is, underneath the village. Because there's definitely a door there that we've not been able to get to so far. Incidentally, some helpful person is resetting my... Some helpful person is resetting my doors for me. Yeah, so I have a strong suspicion that the final totem is going to be under there. Just thinking. So we close the mouth, we come down here. We can't go into the ladder. Let's get over there and have a look at it. Let's have another look. It's going to be that one, I think. No, be this one, I think. I mean, the other thing to consider, right, if you have a descriptive book which takes you to an age that grows a kind of mushroom that doesn't grow anywhere else, you suddenly have a monopoly. Because no one else can write a linking book to your age. It's physically impossible. You have to use the descriptive book to go to an age, write a linking book from that age, and then you can go. Yeah. You know, Gen, rather than just watching, you could actually help me right now. You probably know where the last totem is. Bonk bonk. I mean, it's obviously kind of deliberate and whatever that, like, the wark is the final symbol. So in exactly the same way as the original game, you're looking in the correct direction for when you activate the final symbol. So... Yeah, I know. Look at him, watching from his standing desk. What would happen if a descriptive book was copied letter for letter? My understanding is that even two identical descriptive books will go to different ages. They will just be very similar to each other, because there are infinite ages out there. And so, you know, a book will link to an age which matches its description, but there are many, many more ages than exist descriptions that you can write. Hello, we've got Jacob Nacob, first time chatter. How are you? welcome to the stream. We are streaming the Riven Remake. We are a few hours in, and we're trying to find a way to get to a switch that's just the other side of the... just the other side of this submarine that we've got parked here. But moving the submarine out of the way, not really helping us, to be honest. It's a bit of a conundrum, this one. I'm tempted to move the submarine out of the way again and see what we can do with it. But certainly we couldn't get down the ladder last time. Like, the obvious thing to do, like the really obvious thing to do, would be to move the ladder from one side of the bridge to the other. Like, literally, if you just, like, just take the ladder and just move the ladder over to there. And then, trivial puzzle. I mean, admittedly, this ladder is probably incredibly heavy, but we've already established that the Stranger is incredibly strong. But I'm enjoying it. It's a very good remake, you know. Maybe one of the best remakes I've ever played, to be honest, because it's bold. It's taking risks where you should take risks, and the risks are mostly paying off. According to the Watson letters, 99.999% of the time you'd end up in a very similar age. What have we done and learned so far? Well, we have visited every island. We have linked up the entirety of the Starry Expanse, so that's all been done. Do you know what? I'm gonna take the submarine. I'm gonna move the submarine over to the school. Or, actually, just over to that platform, to be honest, and then it's just out of the way. We are trying currently to solve the animal puzzle. We've found 5 of the totems. There is a 6th totem somewhere. I suspect it's under here. And so maybe we'll get to Tay this episode, if we can get our final animal totem found. I have indeed played the 97 original. So the 97 original I played for the first time last year, and that was a totally blind playthrough, and that whole playthrough you can find on the YouTube. It was one of the first games that I streamed, actually. Yeah, I was streaming that last year. And really enjoyed it. It was, yeah, so the first time I ever played Myst was the 2021 remake, and I was a little bit intimidated going into it, in honesty, because, like, Myst has a reputation, right? Wait a minute, why is that heater still on? Guys, the heater's still on. Ugh, quick, get down there. What happens if we step on... No, you can't step on that. Huh. Okay, right. Let's get the steam going. This might be a timed puzzle. I'm not 100% sure. So, yeah, you know, so the original Myst, you know, I played it for the first time last year. Didn't stream it, just played it straight on the YouTube. And yeah, I was a bit intimidated by that going into it, because Myst has a bit of a reputation, right, for being like a hard puzzle game from the 90s. And I played it, and I just really enjoyed it, right? It had that kind of cozy sort of like Outer Wilds, but without the fear aspect of it. So I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. And so then, and I knew the Riven remake was coming, and originally we were going to wait for the Riven remake. I played Abduction on stream, and that was really good fun. And the chat actually convinced me to try the 97 Riven. And initially I was a bit nervous about that, because I was like, oh, I don't know, a game from 1997, like, oh, it's, you know, is it going to really hold up, and so on. And it's like, oh man, it's so good, it's so good. So yeah, so we played through that, and do you know what? Since then, we have not looked back. We've been doing all of them. We are currently working through Uru. So we did Riven, we did Exile, we did Revelations. Now we're working through Uru. We're in. We're in. And yeah, final totem. It's here, guys. It's here. Is this going to trap us in here? I don't know. Oh man, that's where the steam comes out. So yeah, we better not dilly-dally, right? So yes, this is indeed the missing number. For completeness, we shall take a screenshot, because you never know when your screenshot's going to go wrong. I think I've worked out why I get double notifications. I get double notifications when I go to and from our notebook. Don't know why. I will investigate that later. But thank you very much for the follow, Jacob Nacob. It's much appreciated. We have some sort of insect. And that, my friends, is going to be enough to get us to Tay. So here we go. So, let's get out of here before this chamber floods with water. Did I try the animal solution to the OG Riven? I did not, because I do not remember what it is. Do not remember. Like, we could check it out, actually, because we do have, if we go way back in time, way back in time, we do have somewhere around here our notes from, no, that's Abduction. Here's our notes from the original Riven. So we do have the code somewhere here. The spoilers for the original Riven, everyone, it's somewhere around here. Hang on. Fish. Do you know what? Maybe I didn't write it down. Maybe I didn't write it down. Amazing map drawing skills, of course. No, do you know what? I don't think I wrote the code down. So we are going to be a little bit out of luck there. Never mind. Right, let's get back into the sub, and we're going back to the fishing spot. We have a first time chatter, Death Proof. First time chatter, welcome to the channel. I hope you are going to enjoy the stream. You like how the big timeline of game pictures is also slowly going upwards. Yeah, nothing particularly insidious about that. I don't know. I mean, it's just I don't like my notes to be too organised. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, I just don't think I'd be able to handle them being that organised to literally line them all up with each other. Yes, the ever-expanding notes of all of the games. We should still have a stream sometimes where we just look through the notes, remembering. A metaphor for growth. Quite right. Line does go up. Okay, let's call down our creepy elevator. Oh, it's already here. That's handy. Bonk, bonk. Reminds me of my Factorio playthroughs. The 97 OG solution is fish, beetle, frog, sunner, walk. Yeah, we could give it a go. Why not? Let's see what Easter egg they put in for the speedrunners. I mean, the other thing I think that has been a really enjoyable experience about streaming all of these games is the community as well. And I don't know if that's just because the average age of your typical Riven enjoyer or your typical puzzle game enjoyer more broadly is slightly older. I mean, I can see from my YouTube statistics, and shout out for everyone watching on YouTube in the future, love you all. You know, I can see from my YouTube statistics that the average age of, as in the modal age of people that watch my channel is around. Oh, it's in the 35 to 45 age range, which is a lot older than the average age of a person that watches YouTube. And so, you know, I don't know whether it's an age and maturity thing or whether it's just a, you know, the kinds of people that like puzzle games thing. But the community is just incredibly nice and incredibly wholesome. I think in total, since I started the channel nearly 2 years ago, I think I've had to ban 2 people from my YouTube comment section, genuinely, like 2 people, which is wild, Hello there, Death Proof. Hello there. That's me! What kind of hardware do I use for streaming? That is a really good question, and you know what? I will find out the answer to that, and I will put it in the Discord, and I will put a command for it. So I do have commands, which you can access with commands. I don't have a command for what hardware do I have, but I can dig out all of the specs. Like, the mic is the HyperX Quadcast, would recommend. It's one of the best. I can't remember if it's a dynamic or condenser, but it's a really nice mic. The headphones are Sennheiser. I'd give those a recommendation as well. Quite expensive though. The webcam is a Logitech Streamcam. Would not recommend, to be honest, for a couple of very specific reasons that I'm happy to go into. And yeah, I mean, in terms of the rig, it's I would actually need to look it up. It's a Core i7. It's a 3080 graphics card, although the graphics card really not terribly important for streaming. The Core i7's the processor. I'm putting something like 64 gig of memory, something like that, which is probably more than it needs realistically. So yeah, it's a pretty reasonable rig for playing games from 1997, for sure. But it means that I don't have to worry about whether a game is playable or not. Okay, fish, beetle, frog, sunner, walk. Fish. Fish, fish, fish. This fish? Let's do this fish. Fish. Beetle. Frog was... No, it wasn't that frog. It's actually the same animals, isn't it? It's the same animals again. Sunner. They're in a different order, I think, are they? But okay, here we go. Ah, not the way you remember it. Recall a specific Moiety code. There we go, okay. So there isn't an Easter egg, you just get an achievement for it. Mind you still, quite fun, quite fun. Right, let's go and find our things. So, our little guy here, he's going to be number 4. So let's go to Tay, my friends. Let's go to Tay. Whoops. Wrong button. Right, let's go to Tay. Sunner first. Da 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 da. What we should have, as you start inputting the correct code, we should get a music swell at this point, where it's like, oh, you know, oh, one of the big puzzles is about to be solved. beetle. Number 4 is this thing. There we go. The animal puzzle is a lot easier to work out what picture goes with what picture, because it's the same picture. Fish. And walk. And here we go. GG's, GG's. Anyone gonna like jump up behind me again? This is almost like a jump scare in the original game, right? Because you go up to a statue and then it's like, oh, surprise, 2 guys behind you. Here we go. Whoa. Right. In my playthrough, I never actually went to the Prison Island totem. I only learned it existed after I was done. Wait, so how did you get to Tay? I love the concept of a waterlock protecting the book. The rebels have been able to will the bacteria into working for them. We've got Shroomfi in the chat as well. Thank you very much for the sub, incidentally, Shroomfi. I'm not sure if I caught the notification in yesterday's stream or not. But yeah, thank you very much for the new subscription. Well, here we are, my friends. This is Tay. Now, do you know what I would really love? I'd really love a T-shirt, right? Which is like, so I've got a Star Trek T-shirt, which is Captain Picard and an alien, and it says straight out of Tanagra, straight outer Tanagra, right? Which is a reference to the Tanagra episode in Star Trek, which I think is like really funny. It's a riff on Straight Outta Compton, of course. I'd really love a Straight Outta Tay T-shirt. I think that would be really funny. Here we go. You're not going to sneak up on me this time, guys. Whoa!
Palo! Yo, Olay!
No, don't dart whoever is standing over there. That was quite a misaim, that was. Wow, it feels like my mouse sensitivity's just been turned up to max. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Although I'm pretty convinced if you were to use any art assets from the actual game, that would be copyright infringement. So I'm not encouraging that. This is why all of my homemade t-shirts vaguely make reference and parody, because parody is obviously protected, but do not explicitly reference anything that would be considered intellectual property. A warm welcome arrive on Tay. You saw the fish at an angle from the ground and just guessed since you had numbers for the other animals. That would make sense. Have not stopped people from Woot from making them. No, that's true. That's true. But, you know. Maybe I'm just too honest for my own good. You were watching Riven Part 2 on YouTube last night and remembered you had Amazon Prime. Hint, hint to anyone not using their Prime subscription. That's true. If you happen to have a Prime subscription, you can subscribe essentially for free, because you get a free subscription per month with Amazon Prime.
Bekaretere wirape yelo kene falapo. Tisai. Why te fulupe? Now, Katerina ne. Wisi fapolo ya sepe yai.
All right. Bad ending incoming. Okay, let's have a little look. So... yeah! Excellent! The hardest puzzle in all of Riven. Deciphering Catherine's handwriting. And then here we've got... oh, it's a linking book back to Dunny. Well, my friends, no, we've read that one. Ugh, no, no. Okay, my friends, settle in. This is the long journal. So, strap in, get comfortable. Depending on your time zone, feel free to have a lie down. And if you are watching on YouTube in the future, this is probably the part of the episode that you want to stick on your sleepy time playlist. So, who knows? Write in the comment section if you want me to upload just this part of the episode as a video in its own right for you. Okay. I write quickly from my prison. Along with this journal, I've instructed Neela to return the book that the moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atris for a very specific purpose. Gen will wish to use it, though he will undoubtedly be suspicious. Once he is out of the way, you'll still need the combination to release me. I'm told he keeps it somewhere in his outpost on 233. Then I assume we're to signal Atris. I think I know how it might be done, but don't attempt it before I'm released. Catherine. And then the journal. So that's a note for us. It's been 1 week since I linked to Riven, and I'm still reeling from the changes I've witnessed. Even before my eyes could adjust, the smell of my homeland embraced me. The sweet salt air was instantly familiar, but the scene that soon resolved was not. As I stood there, struggling to make sense of what I was seeing, a violent clang sounded, and bars appeared before me. It was then that I must have been darted, for my memory after is cloudy. A Rivenese man, shabbily dressed in militaristic attire, was shouting something at me. He seemed to be attempting to speak Dene, but his grasp of the language was so poor that I could not make out his words. And then the world went dark. Many voices passed, until at last I awoke to a familiar face. Etty! After all this time, she's still as warm and kind as ever, and yet the years have already wounded her, as they've wounded everyone whose world became a prison when Gen was trapped here. Everything is tinged with a pain and loss, even Etty's bright smile, though she does her best to hide it. A desperate urgency, squelched by attuned fears, seethes beneath her cordial veneer. When Atris and I left Gen here all those years ago, I was haunted by visions of what had become of my people, and how they might have come to suffer under his rule. But their injustices, I imagined, were nothing compared to the atrocities that have actually come to pass. The following is a chronicle of what I have learned, a record of all that has happened, should I no longer be here to tell it. The Muayati. It seems the confrontation that led to Gen's entrapment on Riven was witnessed by some of the Rivenese, but their interpretation of the event was skewed, no doubt due to Gen's overinflated view of himself. Atris and I had hoped that stripping him of his ability to link to other worlds might lead people to conclude that his claims of godhood were false, but it appears the opposite has come to pass. If Gen was a god and we had vanquished him, then we must be greater gods. It was thus assumed that my absence was only temporary and that I would surely return one day to set the world right again. Thus, the Muayati, the name they adopted after Gen's disparaging use of the term, were born. Sworn enemies of Gen and devotees of me. I had no inkling of this misconception about myself until 2 days ago, though in hindsight it makes perfect sense given the way I've been treated. For their part, they naturally assumed an omniscient deity might be well aware of their own divine status, so there was no need to inform me. I only finally pieced it together during a recent underground gathering where they reenacted their version of the story of my life, and a riveting tale that culminated with the confrontation between Atris, myself, and Gen at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated to such a grandiose proportions that I found it hard at times to suppress my laughter, and yet this myth has also given them the courage to stand against Gen and the hope that they might someday be delivered from the relentless inhumanities of his authoritarian rule. Even so, the fact that I am the one who has been cast as this saviour, an omnipotent being who would one day return to Riven, overthrow Gen and lead them to a new paradise, is deeply unsettling. I would do anything to free my people from this hellish existence, but I am not who they think I am. How, though, can I dissuade them from this notion without also crushing their hopes? As Gen's power grew, so did the Muayati, and in order to evade his persecution, for he would wipe them all out in an instant if he could, they had to become more and more adept at concealing themselves. They make use of a network of caves that so far he has failed to discover, but I fear it's only a matter of time before they are found out. Secret passage to the rebel linking room. 3 Bolu must be lit. It is a code. We just didn't have it. Blah. Yeah, we'll take a screen grab of that one. Pop that over here. Just in case we ever need to use that shortcut. Like, I'm not sure that shortcut's going to be needing to be massively used. But yeah, let's catch up on the chat briefly. So, what's everyone's take on Firmament? Just got round to it last week, and no feelings, no spoilers, don't know, haven't played it yet. Do you know what? I haven't played Firmament yet either, but it's definitely on the list to play. It was already called Riven in the Book of Atris, I believe it was, yes. Ooh, that's an interesting name. Mercedatia. First time chatter, welcome to the channel. That code is different than mine, so that must be randomized too. Huh. Well, that's great. Merciless Gladiator. Right. Right, okay. Merciless Gladiator. Got it. Thank you. Further jeopardizing their existence is the fact that the Muayati absolutely refuse to sever their ties with those who have sided with Gen. The two factions thus live together in surprising harmony, their overarching sense of cultural unity appearing to outweigh the schism, at least for now. I heard today that Father and Enant were inducted into Gen's labour force. I so longed to see them, but a dimness shrouded Etty's face so abruptly when I asked of them that it left me hesitant to press the matter further. I must know the truth eventually, but I fear the news will not be good. From the moment of their inception, the Moiety have sought to disrupt Gen's plans at every turn, sabotaging his constructions, stealing from his precious stockpiles, and keeping an ever-watchful eye on his every move. They shroud themselves with dark coverings and delight in the fact that their enemies are often frightened by their wraith-like appearance, and they're almost... Oh, I'm struggling with that one. It's something natural. Preternatural? Preternatural. It is preternatural. That's literally just a word that I don't know. Okay, fair enough. Their preternatural ability to wreak havoc without detection or consequence. It was in the course of one of these forays that I was fortuitously rescued when I first linked to Riven. I shudder to think what might have become of me had that scout not been there to intervene. Gen will certainly be hunting for me now, no doubt furious at his guard's failure to detain me. He must be even angrier, though, at the loss of the linking book he surely assumes I brought with me. That I was deceived into linking into Riven without a way back is a bitter yet fortunate fact, for it may well have been meant the death of us all had a path back to Denis fallen into his destructive hands. When he finally discovers that I came here empty-handed, he'll be angrier still. There is some consolation, at least. I have glimpsed the final breath of a dying age. A tiny blade cuts the void, the white hole divided. Again and again, dipped in black, the nib drips red, the art of genocide. Today I ventured above ground to see for myself what has become of the island. I hoped it wouldn't be as bad as the Moiety had reported. It was worse. Having lived with it for so long, the Rivenese have become used to the steady decay around them, but I was devastated. As we wound our way through the underbush, I found myself once again breathing in my youth, the ocean air transporting me back in a matter of seconds. But as my eyes again took hold, the warmth of those memories vanished, and I was left with nothing but numbness. We had reached a bluff that had not been there the last time I visited my home. Riven, which was once one island, has split into 5 distinct pieces that have since drifted apart at an astonishing rate. 4 of these have been claimed by Gen as his exclusive domain. Only those who have sworn their loyalty to him are ever allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the trees, I could see 3 of them, now blighted with Gen's monomaniacal constructions. These islands are closely guarded and pose great personal risk to the Moiety, though that hasn't kept them from doing whatever they can to thwart Gen's endeavours there. And then we've got a nice little indication on the 4 main islands. Let's just catch up with the chat quick. Merciless Gladiator has actually watched many of my YouTube videos, but this is the first time catching me live on stream. Excellent. Wow, I'm glad you could be here live. You know, I love chatting with all of you guys live. It's brilliant to have you here. You'd say Firmament is worth it if you want to support Cyan. Otherwise, it's a bit pricey for what it is. Not very difficult, just if you've got your moments. I understand that Firmament has some mixed reviews, for sure. You do want to support Cyan. You're sure you'll have some fun with it. Always curious about Cyan's world building. Fair enough. Pretty obvious that Cyan had much more grand inspirations for the game than they were able to produce. They had a rough few years over the pandemic. And Spypro has managed to hit another ban hammer. Excellent. Thank you very much, Spyper. The fourth island I could not see, as it has crept away to some distance and now lies concealed by fog. The Moiety said that Gens originally governed from this small island, living and working in a protected space he built for himself atop the stump that remains where the great tree used to stand. The only surviving forest is located here, on the largest island, where the village also remains. The island was ostensibly intended to be the province of the people, but it too has been irrevocably marred by Gen's oppressive intrusions. Words fall, brittle brown leaves, masquerading as green, should never have held lives both bloomed and yet unseeded. I feel nothing today. I am an outcast among outcasts, the dysphoria of a dying world. Despite my repeated protestations, the Moiety continue to treat me differently, their desperate need precluding any dissuasion from the belief that I am some sort of messiah come to save them. They misconstrue my every move as a validation of their faith, whispering of how I walked the island, bold and unafraid, mistaking my outrage at the island's devastation for bravery. But I am afraid, for I know something that the Moiety do not, the underlying reason for the island's accelerated decay. Gen wrote this world, and so it will fail, as all of Gen's ages ultimately fail. I must make the Moiety understand this, but I cannot talk to Etty. There were brief moments soon after my arrival where my divine status was forgotten and I was simply Katran again, but they are almost non-existent now. There is one person, however, who seems immune to these fallacious notions, Neela. Her grace has never faltered whenever I've dared hint at the uncomfortable truth. I feel I could trust her to bear the full brunt of it. Gen is making books. How did I not know this until now? Atris and I knew he would likely attempt it, as he has adopted the paranoid practice of writing all the necessary materials into his ages. He's been exploiting the natural resources and the people of Riven as fodder for his mad pursuit to further his colonialist ideals. Thankfully, it sounds as if he's not yet succeeded. As painful as it's been, the fact that I've returned to Riven at this crucial juncture is fortuitous. The age is crumbling, my people are suffering, and if Gen succeeds in securing his freedom, other worlds will suffer the same. The Moiety are looking to me. I may only be mortal, but I have to do something. Take a little screenshot of that, because that device is different to how it was in the original. It's been a long time since my last entry. There is much to tell. It was hard to recognize, but I found the Star Fissure. It's located on what Gen refers to as his Temple Island, though the Moiety prefer to use the Rivenese word Alapo, which means water pool. They've thus taken to referring to the void itself as Alatravan, pool of stars. It is the very fissure that allowed Atris and me to escape this age without leaving a linking book behind us, though it has since been sealed with the skin of heavy iron. Several derelict devices from that time remain mounted to its surface, including a hatch with a window viewport, a long telescope, and the mechanical lift that was used to install it. The combination to which was acquired by the Moiety long ago. In the early days, the Moiety briefly considered reopening the fissure. Thankfully, they decided against it. Had they attempted it back then, the results might well have been catastrophic. Were they to do so today, it would certainly mean the end of Riven. I am told that in the days immediately following Gen's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the Myst book fall from Atreus' hands into that very same space. To this end, he sacrificed several poor souls, alleged transgressors of the law, by throwing them into the hatch so that he could observe their fate. It is said that they did not die, but what becomes of them remains a mystery. And that original fissure is no longer alone. New ruptures have appeared in recent years at various locations around the islands. In some instances, the Moiety were able to glimpse the branches before Gen and his minions moved in to contain them. Their descriptions support my suspicion that the forces that are tearing Riven apart are more than merely geological. More troubling, however, is that Gen is not simply containing these rifts, but is somehow using them to travel between the islands, and that he has also reportedly devised a way to harvest the energies from the expanse for some as yet unknown purpose. How like him to wantonly exploit for his own selfish gain that which he does not understand. The star field beneath the fissure is not, as it seems, as it is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. That is how Atreus described his brief time within the expanse before he linked out, leaving his Myst book adrift within it. He was never able to conclude upon its nature, but I cannot help but feel that there must be some greater phenomena behind it. That is actually not the word that I just read. Catherine is making some pretty big finger pointing here. How like him to wantonly exploit for his own selfish gain that which he does not understand. Yeah, it's selfish, but it's selfish to want to escape a prison that he's been put into. So, not totally unreasonable actions from his point. Okay, just catching up on the chat quickly. Something I should have mentioned earlier. One of the colossal blades that appeared in the course of our escape from Riven, the great dagger that stands at one end of the fissure, has been adopted by the Moiety as the emblem of their struggle. They have their own explanation as to how it came to be, of course, but their choice is more apt than they know, as that dagger, along with the other blades, was a manifestation of my rage at the desecration that Gen had already wrought upon my world. I haven't told the Moiety that I wrote it into this age, as I fear that would only fuel their overestimation of me, but I can't deny it pleases me to have inadvertently provided them with such a fitting symbol for their cause. My limited encounters with Gen's followers have been discouraging. Whenever I've attempted to engage them, they've fled from me. I heard an interesting tale from the Moiety last night which may help to explain this. Soon after we tracked Gen on Riven, he claimed that it was he who had been responsible for the Great Blades summoning them as a preemptive, punitive reminder of the obsequience he expected. Not sure on that one. In the village circles, it is told that this act marked the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, provided they had proven their devotion to him, they would be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue my attempts to intervene on their behalf. Obeisance. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that word either. I tell you what, this is a lyrical journey, this journal, isn't it? The cage has finally failed. Gen is free. My sources have confirmed that Gen has managed to create a functional linking book In fact, he had done so before my arrival, but kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest acolytes were aware of it. In keeping with his callous regard for the worlds he creates, he has simply named this age 233. It is not yet known whether he has written others. I have also just learned that years ago a Moiety scout managed to steal a book that was an early failure that Gen had intended to destroy. It was largely complete but did not work. I wasn't told about it until now because they thought it was useless. Gen struggled for decades, but he could never get a conventional linking book to work. Then one day he began construction on a cumbersome mechanical solution, a complex array of devices designed to harness the energies of the starry expanse and use them to suppress his book's inherent flaws. The design phase was chaotic and often dangerous, the Moiety tale of tremendous explosions as Gen sought to contain and wield forces that he knew little to nothing about. But he is nothing if not determined, and eventually he was able to use this enormous crutch to link to another age. I can't deny his brilliance, but it is an abominable solution, brutish and overwrought. And all but entirely unnecessary. I have studied the partially burned book the Moiety took from him. Although he sought retribution for the affront, he appears to have been otherwise untroubled by the theft, no doubt assuming the book would be useless in the Moiety's hands. But I can see what they could not. The book may yet be salvageable. The age the book describes is wholly unsuitable as a home for the Moiety, but I think it can be modified. I will dream. And this is a really interesting thing about Catherine's character, right? Catherine, and maybe Yisha, but we're not quite at that point in the story yet in Uru, but Catherine is maybe one of the most skilled practitioners of the art in the canon, because she's certainly more skilled than Gen, and she's certainly more skilled than Atris, and she can write things using her interpretation of the art that don't make any sense to Atris, but they still work really well. So if anyone can take an incomplete book and make it work, it's certainly Catherine. Yes, even Atris says he doesn't know how she does it, but she can break the laws of physics in her books as well, which Atris has never been shown to do, as far as I'm aware, with the possible exception of Spire, but it's not entirely clear whether Catherine didn't write Spire, of course. I have nearly finished writing the Moiety's Age. The world, as described, is harsher and more desolate than they are used to, but they should be able to sustain themselves there. But we'll need a second book. Gen has been spending most of his time on 233 lately, so the danger is less, but getting into his lab will still be difficult. The coming collapse weighs the air, blurring my vision both day and night. We must act soon. Success! We have secured a second book, though I worry now that Gen will miss it and deduce our plan before we're ready. The descriptive book I prepared as a refuge for the rebels is useless unless I can find a way to correct its inherent flaws. Gen's massive machine mainly functions to manipulate the energies within the expanse. It serves its purpose, but its excess seems unwarranted. The Rivenese have long used crystalline substrates as an elegant means to manipulate light, if I could just find the right material. Last night's dreams have delivered me a perilous plan. I will write this substrate into the new Moiety Age. And here we go. This is what the substrate looks like. If we could temporarily access Gen's apparatus, we could use our book to link to the new age and search for the crystal. Someone would then have to carry the book back to safety once the link was made. If it fell into Gen's hands, all would be lost. When Gen links to 233, one of his acolytes always remains to shut down the device. We'll have to get to him before he can do so. which means we'll only have one chance before they're alerted to our presence. Everything is ready. I have written the material into the New Age, and I have prepped the second linking book as a return path to Riven. Of course, it too suffers the same deficiencies as all of Gen's books, so it won't work unless it's augmented. Stargazier is now following. Thank you very much for the follow, Stargazier. Justy303 redeemed What Do You See? What do I see? I mean, this is a linking panel on a book. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure what the relevance of the sketch is. I will take a screenshot for later, just in case it is something important. Everything is ready. I have written the material into the New Age, and I have prepped the second linking book as a return path to Riven. Oh no, we've already read this bit. Once I'm in the New Age, I'll have to locate the crystal and adapt it to heal the gateway image, which should render the book functional. I can then use the second linking book to return to Riven with more of this material. It's risky, but if it all goes well, the Moiety, and any others we can convince to join them, will finally have an escape. This is an incredibly risky plan from Catherine, right? Because if Gen discovers this crystal, he then has no problem creating ages, right? Because Gen's big problem at the moment, right, is he's spent a lot of effort creating a massive machine to link to 233 in the first place. But the reason he's sending minion after minion into 233 is because he doesn't want to risk travelling there himself and getting stuck there. So he's sending other people there with instructions on how to build an apparatus to power a book to send them back. And he's not going to go there until that exists, because otherwise he might end up stranded on a place that has like nothing in it. Catherine has just written this crystal substrate into the Moiety Age, into Tay, and that can power her books on its own. Very, very dangerous to bring that back into Riven. Very, very dangerous. I can't help but laugh at the absurdity of this plan. I sound like Atris. Should I fail to return, it would likely mean the end of my life. But my only real fear is for my people. Everyone assures me that they have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. That's the fulfillment of the prophecy after all. But underneath, they are just as tense and fearful as I am. What will become of them if I do not return? Will they perish here on Riven, or attempt to follow me through this new book to an unknown fate? I don't know what to tell them. Against all odds, it is done. We have already evacuated most of our members to this new age, which the Moiety have named Tay. The world is more beautiful than I'd anticipated, so I am pleased. The Rivenese have been liberated at last. They stand beneath the open sky, unafraid, dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. But there's still much to be done. The age is still vulnerable. The only way to completely protect it from Gen is to destroy the books once everyone is safely in Tay. I'm hesitant to bring this up with the Moiety until they've had a chance to acclimate themselves to the new world, as it would mean they would be forever exiled from the only home they've ever known. Nor am I eager to sever my own connection and my only path back to my life and family on Myst. But for the greater good, it must be done. For the moment, we're safe, but our activities could arouse Gen's suspicions at any moment. We cannot delay. I will return to Riven tomorrow to resume my attempts to persuade the remaining holdouts to join the others in Tay. For now, though, I must rest. And that's it. Feels a lot quicker second time through, doesn't it? Okay, well, that is journal complete. I hope they didn't change that just so that decanonizing trap books didn't make less sense. The editor got after Cat on this one. So, hang on, wait. So is that journal significantly shorter in this version than the previous one? Like, it feels like it might be. Oh, hang on a minute. Hello. You've got that. You've got the pizza cutter that we've seen in the thing there. Okay, so I guess we're here. It feels weird to be wandering around with NPCs kicking about. But okay. We're wandering around Tay, I guess. Exploring Tay. Yeah. I can't remember. I'd sort of forgotten, to be honest. I thought we were going to be linking straight back. But, yeah, I mean, obviously I've seen the trailer, so I'd sort of suspected that maybe we'd see a bit of Tay. But I wasn't sure whether it was a bit of Tay or a bit of the village. But okay. Obviously, it's very reminiscent of the Riven village. There's a lot of shortcuts that can't be got through. A lot of guards hanging about, of course. Well, I guess we're going down here. You wonder if the multiple guards is a bug or a new patch. Pass. There are a lot of them hanging about, aren't there? I mean, there was a patch which we literally installed today. Imagine if you could knock 6 times on a door. I guess so. Ah. Well, so that's just going to send us back. I mean, okay. I have to admit, I'm maybe a touch underwhelmed by it's like you dangle a carrot, but there's not really much to the carrot. It's like a carrot with a big leafy green at the top, and you pull it out, and it's like a stubby carrot, you know. But yeah, that's a bummer. I wanted a puzzle. Yeah, good shout. That's sort of what I was expecting. They didn't have enough time to work on Tay before the release date. Yeah, no, fine. I accept it. I mean, there comes a point where you have to draw a line and just go, we are releasing. So, understandable. That's what it felt like in 98 too, lol. Yeah, I mean, guys, they've only had, like, 25 years to think about what kind of puzzle they would have put in Tay had they had time to do it, right? Games should not be rushed their art. Tricky, because... it's a tricky one, because you have to deal with a marketing plan, right? Like, you are... your marketing kickoff needs to happen about a year before you're going to launch. And yeah, you can delay it, but you can't delay it indefinitely. So it's something that I'm pretty 50-50 on, right? There's definitely a school of thought which is like, don't release a game until it's ready, for sure. And there's been some bad examples over the years of games that have been released clearly before they're ready. I don't think this is one of those games, to be fair, though. Like, missing a bit of content does not equate to a game that wasn't ready for launch, you know? Because there's a lot more that goes into making a game ready. In the modern era, they can keep updating it. Yeah, that is also a double-edged sword in its own way, though. Okay. So, we should probably have a think about how to get to age 233 then. So we've done animals. So let's have a think about where we are with getting to age 233. We've got colours. And we have like the relative locations of some islands. So that's fine. We have some maths to be done here. Strike force compensation. And if I were to take that along with my number system here, right, I would say that we have got a yellow's probably not a good one. Yeah, purple will do fine. So that one is red. We've got here is orange, green, blue, and that's got to be the purple one, right? Yeah. Although purple's still a question mark. And then in terms of numbers, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's an 8. That one is the very famous Riven 5. Now, what does this mean, though? Orange -5. Like, that's a bit of a sketchy one, isn't it? Orange -5. Unless these somehow map to numbers, you know. Here we've got a 4. This one is a... So that's a 10. That's an 11. And that is a 10, 11, 12, 13. That's a 14. Okay. So we've got our clue there. The counterintuitive aspect of fire marbles, that a greater strike force does not always yield the maximum energy output, never ceases to annoy me. Optimal strike force is base value and then something that's been scribbled out. Interesting. Whatever happened to our pet rock? Our pet rock is still in Gen's summer house. Don't worry about the pet rock. He's vibing. He's chilling. Is this a site or an app? Yes, this is a website called Miro.com. Not sponsored. I just use it. I like it. It's good. It's good for note taking. Now we've got here the layout of those 5 might be important, but that kind of seems to be all the clues we have so far. So maybe we go to Temple Island and have a look inside the Starry Expanse, as well as have a look inside the big golden temple. Oh, he writes, amaze me, not annoy me, does he? Fair enough. Well, to be fair, with Gen, could be either, couldn't it? Chilling in its crib. Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what it's doing. Is Cyan preventing anyone else from making their own version of Riven? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's... Riven would 100% be Cyan's intellectual property. And you will almost certainly end up on the receiving end of a cease and desist if you were to do such a thing. Even if you were making a fan game, you could still get hit with a cease and desist if they felt that you were diluting the brand, to be honest. I mean, it often doesn't happen in the video game industry because, you know, it often doesn't happen in the video game industry because the general consensus over the years has been don't sue your own fans. But, you know, when it comes to like movies and video games and comic books, it's happened loads of times where people have tried to put together I mean, it doesn't happen so much with fan fiction. Like, if you're literally not making any money by doing it, like if you're literally not monetizing it at all, then obviously fan fiction is usually fine. But yeah, you know, it's not the done thing. They do have a fan content policy on their website. I wonder if there's something on the other side of that. Yeah. Cyan is surprisingly open with their IP historically. Fair. I don't know. I've not... I mean, most companies will have some kind of policy. Don't do it with any EA games. Yeah, probably best not. Even if there's no precedent, I can't imagine spending the time and energy to build a game with even a low chance of being cease and desist randomly at some point. There was someone on Reddit recently who was making some cool maps of Riven Islands and people were asking for prints. But the artist isn't allowed to sell them. Cyan reached out about possibly licensing the designs since they were so well liked. Well, that's great, isn't it? And that's, I mean, that sort of thing is how you end up with a win-win for everybody, right? And you know what? I think I know the prints you're referring to. So, we need power to come through. We've got something up there, and I can see the colours. Red, orange, green, blue, and purple. Which are literally the colours that we're going to have. But yeah, no, I know those maps. I've seen those on Reddit. They do look super cool, and I would certainly like one. I think they look great. This unfortunately does not lead to the dome. I don't think there's any lift over here, is there? So yeah, we've got to move the room around to be able to get into the starry expanse, which is a touch inconvenient. Although maybe we can do it from this side. Yeah, this will work. Oh, hang on. According to the fan user policy, We want to encourage fan-made creation and other transformative works that are created solely for personal use and provide guidelines to help keep boundaries clear between official and unofficial works based on our worlds. I don't think a Riven remake would qualify. No. Certainly not if you were going to attempt to sell it. Yeah. There's no way... that's kind of annoying, actually. There's no way in the remake to get to the dome easily from inside the gold dome. Hey, wait, there's still a walkway up the top here. Is there supposed to be a way to the top? Thank you for pasting that link in, Star Shadow X2. Yeah, they look really great. They look really great. Well, there's not an obvious way up there on this side. No, I think we just have to bite the bullet and leave the dome to go to the yeah, just leave the dome and go around. Adian writers in the chat. New Cyan game in the Deniaverse. Yeah. Definitely a good one to look forward to. What would you like to see in such a game? Do you have more details? Nope. More puzzles. I think we can pretty much guarantee more puzzles. Although you never know. Like when it comes to subverting expectation, it could be like, hey, congratulations, we've decided to set a first-person shooter in the world of the Dene. Don't you put that juju on us. Well, there's nothing that says it has to be a puzzle game every time, right? So, here's an interesting question. How does this work then? I can pull it. Can't do much with it. What happens if I run out of fire marbles as well? That's like another consideration, but My basic stance on game shortcomings is that it's all fine if you aren't stopping other people from doing it better. Someone in the chat asked for a TV series about Myst. That was talked about a few years ago. It sort of disappeared, though. Yeah. I remember sort of being from the Magic the Gathering crew. They've been talking for ages and ages and ages about a Magic the Gathering TV show or movie or whatever, and it's like, I don't know. I just don't think there's the market for it, to be honest. This one at the top here, it's set to eye circle. Right. I'm going to take a screenshot of this one and we're going to start comparing details. So, take a screenshot, pop a screenshot into the notebook, and I'm going to write, this is temple, and it's got the dot. Temple with a dot. That's what I've drawn. There we go. I'm interested as to why some of the bridges flash and some of them are static. So we've got 2 flashing bridges there, flashing... Oh, no. All 4 of them are flashing. And then this lighthouse at the top here. Probably that way up is best. Right, now this one has stopped flashing. So it flashes when it's not connected, I suppose. Yes, now this one... So we're going to put a marble in. Oh, that's why it was stuck previously. It's because I'd never pressed the button yet. Huh. In a few more years, it will be fairly easy to make a Myst game where you can write your own ages. Maybe. With AI, you can easily ask an AI in 5 years' time, like, make me a sequel to Riven, and it will generate just for you. AMZ Craft, first time chatter, welcome to the stream. We're playing the Riven Remake 2024. You don't remember this part when you played. Yeah, spoiler alert if you've not played the remake, this area is a little bit different. So, Dorky, you'd sit here for a stream of just reading the novels and talking about them like a book club. Well, do you know what, right? I would do a book club stream. I'm not sure, because with a Let's Play, you are implicitly adding your own... You're implicitly adding your own methods and style into a Let's Play. I'm not sure that would count for literary... Like, if you look on YouTube for like an audiobook reading of Book of Atris, and they're pretty rare. I'm not sure you'd be allowed to do that, to be honest. So this one here, which is set to... Sort of weird that it's not letting me load another marble in. surely it's not like just as straightforward as... Surely it's not as straightforward as just load 5 marbles. That can't be it. So this is back at Temple. Colonel Grimm finally caught part of a live stream. Gotta say hello. You're usually at work, but you watch most of them on YouTube later. Well, thank you for coming by the stream, and welcome. I'm glad you could make it. We're streaming slightly later today because I'm on vacation at the moment. So, just doing a little bit extra. Probably not going to be too much later, to be honest. It is getting to like 20 to 11 here. But, yeah. I'm glad that we can stream for a little bit longer than we usually do today. So the question's going to sort of become... Oh. Oh, did we already fire this one off, did we? It's kind of weird, because there's nothing else you can really do with it once you've fired it. Okay. So, we've done the first 3, then. So, where's the next one? Oh, no, not that way. This way. So we've done you. You we haven't done. Bonk, bonk. It might... I think it's actually the longest stream I've done. Except maybe one of the other ones that I did on holiday with, like, I don't know, Zelda or Ori or something like that. So, let's load a marble up. The fact that it gives you multiple marbles to try out, like, tells me that there is definitely a way that you could be doing this wrong. Yeah, okay, so the marble, it sort of goes off, doesn't it? It goes off into the tube. So that kind of tells me that... maybe the beam is coming out of here and into the marble. Not sure. Okay. And so then we need to find the last one, which is going to be... I think it's going to be on the underside of this now then. Yeah, is that it? Or is that the one we've already done? It's hard to know, because they're sort of 90 degrees apart from each other. Oh wait, hang on. No, I think we've done this one, haven't we? Yeah, this is number 3. It's number 5 that we're after. So, it's the other one. Do we see it on the top anywhere? Not quite. Okay, do we see it if we flip ourselves over? Anywhere around here? There it is. Okay. We might want to look at the Sherlock Holmes games for Let's Plays in the future. They are on sale at the moment. Yeah. if you reckon they're good. So one of the ones we were discussing, the one we were discussing on the Discord this week was, should we go and do Outer Wilds, right? So Outer Wilds, I have played the base game before, and I've played some of the DLC before, so it wouldn't really be a blind split, but for sure we... Well, there we go, we get a new audio track once we've loaded 5 marbles in, so that's got to be something. Yeah, so it wouldn't be a blind playthrough. So it would be kind of like a let's go and explore and do some stuff. Or maybe we'd do it as like a blind LARP or something. I don't know. Yeah, there are ways to make it work. But of course, fairly soon, and you might have missed this if you're new to the channel, but fairly soon I will be taking a stream break for a couple of months because my wife and I are expecting another baby quite soon. So can't really commit to streaming anything big after this one. Like, the intention is that we'll stream this one, we'll get to the end of this, and then we're probably going to be quite close to the due date, so we'll probably be doing something a little bit more ephemeral, like a little bit more, you know, doesn't really matter whether we stream it 1 episode or 3 episodes kind of thing. If I'm feeling really spicy, it might be something totally different that I am in great danger of really sucking at. Like, well, I tell you what I fired up for the first time again. Oh, interesting. Someone's been messing around with my room orientation. I tell you what I fired up for the first time again fairly recently, which I haven't played in ages. Rocket League, and can confirm I am still terrible at Rocket League. Not playing it for several years definitely does not make you better at that game. So there we go. Oh really? You have a Contigo? Oh, do you know what? I really love these water bottles actually. They're really great, but unfortunately kinda hard to get hold of, really. Is it easiest to go from here? It might be. No, do you know what? It's not easiest to go from here at all. Did we just hear the Great Dome activate? I don't know, did we? There's a huge symbol on the rock wall here. I do not know what it is. Look at Temple Island from the dome. But we're on Temple Island. Tomba and Tomba 2. I haven't heard of those. Right, okay. Let's get down here. Let's get over here. We can definitely get in there from this direction. Here we go. Okay. Do you know what? I've just remembered, in the original Riven, there's a button to turn this into a set of stairs. And that could totally still be a thing. Because there's definitely a walkway up there, isn't there? You know, or it looks like there's enough room to put a lift here, isn't there? And doesn't that just kind of look like a button up there? Sus. Yeah, sus. Okay. Oh, hey! Ephra90 is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. Okay, so we've got a button here. I mean, okay, well let's press the button and see what it does. Bonk. Whoa. Okay, we've got balls rolling in. Okay, the roulette wheel is going. Fine. Ah. Right, we are up here. Ah, just watched my play of the original Riven. Very nice deduction skills. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean the original Riven, what a masterpiece. Just absolutely. And the remake is brilliant. Loving it. Loving it. Okay. So, we're bringing up the waffle iron. Huh. Oop. Right, we'll step back from that. Well, I can tell you guys that there's definitely many fewer slots to be putting that into. And, hang on a minute. Because we already did this over here. We already did that one. Because, yeah, one of the things that we're missing in Survey Island is where the domes are physically located on these islands, right? Alright. Alright, alright. Let's bring that over then. No. My clues are all over here. My clues are all over here. Right. We still have this bit of maths in here that we don't know how that works. But okay. What do we have then? We have Jungle Island here. Jungle Island is... which one? Oh, Village. It's the eye with the line. Right, so Village is the eye with the line, which is going to be red. So, red there. Then you've got Survey Island. Survey Island is straight. Straight is orange. And it goes there. Is this right? Where does the maths come into it? Okay, up in the top corner here we've got Crater Island. Crater is the vertical line in the circle. The vertical line in the circle is the purple. I mean, it's close enough to purple. I mean, it's all sort of tying up so far, isn't it? Alcatraz Island is right up there in the corner. Alcatraz Island is right up there in the corner. Alcatraz Island is the eye with the dot, vertical eye with the dot. Vertical eye with the dot is blue, and we have a blue. And let's just validate the last one here. Validate the last one here. We've got here is that'll be Temple Island. Temple Island is, ah yes, of course, it's the dot, which is green, and we have green. So let's take a screenshot of that one. I think I've seen where the maths is going to get into this, because we've got a throwback to the old Riven here. We've got these, don't we? Tick, 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 tick. So, what do we have here then? Strike force compensation. Red -8, orange -5, green +4, blue +11, purple +14. Optimal strike force, base value, and then he's drawn something in there, but he's scribbled it out. Don't think anything from Catherine's journal is going to help with that. Oh, blimey. Do you know what? I've just seen the time. Oh no, guys. Sorry. I've actually lost track of time. It's 5 to 11 here. So, do you know what? I'm going to have to leave it on a cliffhanger. Let's just try and get one go through. No. Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to have time to think about it. Should have been looking at the clock. Okie dokie. I will see you guys soon. If you are watching on YouTube in the future, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for leaving you guys on a cliffhanger. Join us next time, and we will see potentially the conclusion of the fire marble puzzle. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, thank you all very much for coming along to the stream today. It's been absolutely great fun having you all. Sorry for leaving you right at the end of a cliffhanger. As I say, I literally, wow, been so